What are you doing, buddy? I'm here at Tom Crutchfield's place. Of course, the place that got broken into. Actually, animals were stolen and even killed. So we're gonna meet up with Tom, get the story behind it, as well as just find out his philosophy about keeping reptiles and the intelligence and the relationships you can actually have with them. Let's go check it out. So obviously here with Tom, a legend in the reptile world. Can't thank you enough for letting us come over. And obviously recently I know we did a video about it, about you having a break-in here. I mean, I know how much you love your animals and how much they mean to you. And you know, what happened and where are we at with that?
Well, they broke in here twice actually and came in and took animals both times, and in addition they killed animals both times just to be killing them for no reason at all. The green iguana, I guess, to show me they could do what they wanted to do, they smashed his brains out and left it on the floor of the cage. But they opened up all of the cages with everything that they could break. So
it was like malicious, right?
It was, and also come to find out, it's not just me. They hit 3 or 4 other people. Yep, and we put pressure on them and in the whole area here. And one of our animals that was stolen on the second robbery that we did not report to the general public, just we reported it to law enforcement. That's all. Where they took a hybrid green tree crossed with a black tree monitor. Probably the only one of its kind in the United States. And a week after the robbery, or 10 days, once we put the pressure, a person showed up here with his wife. His name is Jonathan Perez. And he brought us the hybrid tree monitor back, but he said he didn't do it, that his friend next door did it. Which we found out later, we don't believe. He was just scared and he was trying to.
Yeah, he
but all of the evidence, according to law enforcement, points towards Jonathan Perez as being one of the main people, and not just me.
So he's been doing it to other people.
He has.
Now, is law enforcement continuing to check on with him?
Well, I hope so, but law enforcement here in the Miami-Dade area, I mean, they even told us that themselves, the detectives, they have so much on their plate, you know, with violent crime. This has to be sort of like a triage in a hospital, treated like it is, and it's, I mean, let's face it.
Right.
To me, it's a very, 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 very big deal.
And of course, we have the Rhino Iguanas running around. Tom keeps his Rhino Iguanas, and actually a Lewis eye over here, free range. Just lets them run the place. No enclosures whatsoever. And of course, look at how amazing these guys are. I mean, this is a really big male that's 20+ years old right now, and you can just see how absolutely docile. But the thing that's so cool is the fact that they're not in enclosures. They have the entire yard to run around. They could climb over the fence if they wanted to, but obviously they don't. And he's been keeping them like this for years and years, and it's just absolutely incredible. I mean, it just warms my heart. I always say I love coming down to places that have like stuff outside. You know, I wish we could do that in Michigan. I wish I had a place that I can do it, but it's just so cool to see something like this. Anything we could do to help, but I think that...
Well, you've helped me so much. I appreciate that.
Well, no, it's amazing. Well, listen, I know that the thing that's amazing about your evolution in reptiles from, you know, when did you start?
It all started, I think, when I was 5 or 6 years old. I remember this clearly. Turning over a rock in my yard and finding a ringneck snake.
Really?
And I thought, wow, you know, I was like all for that.
Right.
And it just never stopped.
And so your evolution has been so much where you've literally done everything from traveling to having one of the biggest wholesalers to importing to now the thing I find so fascinating about your journey is the fact that you're really starting to unlock the reptile's intelligence and the relationships. And we talk about, you know, that these animals can have feelings and bonds, and you're showing it. When you come here, you can see it. Can we just kind of, I mean, let's see, I mean, the iguana right behind us here.
There's a rhino on the ground, and he doesn't even have a cage.
Doesn't even have a cage, just kind of walking around.
Years,
and you know, as we go back here.
And also I want you to notice too, now this rhino has absolutely no fear of people at all.
Right.
So she does not think that we have the right of way to walk. What she does when we approach, she's going to twitch and hit us at us with her tail.
Yep, there you go.
See what I mean?
Yep, you called it exactly right. I think that the thing that you really touched on is fear, right? It's the fact that if you can take away the fear of the animals of us, that unlocks what they really become.
As long as we're not afraid of them.
Right.
But as long as we're afraid of them, it won't work either.
Right. So you have to have a mutual...
Because it's only when both the keeper, us, and the kept, them,
right,
both lose their fear of each other,
right,
that the magical understanding begins, not before.
Right.
Because if you're afraid of the animal you're dealing with will never see it as it is, because you cannot understand, because you're protecting yourself subconsciously from the animal the whole time.
Right, and that makes complete sense. And I mean, you're just starting to do that with all kinds of animals that didn't really think about it. From monitors, you did it with the iguanas, obviously, and it's pretty amazing. Now, do you feel pretty confident now that you're safe from like that whole mess of being broken is behind you?
Well, we hope that it is. I will say this, without going into detail, we have a lot of safeguards here.
Good.
And if they come again, there's a really high chance that they would be discovered.
Yeah.
And if they do, it will not play out very well for them.
Good. Well, I'm glad.
And I want to say this directly to Jonathan Perez. Jonathan Perez, it's only over when I say it's over. When they took Jimmy, though, we don't even have an animal in the cage. Her cage is still vacant.
And that's,
I love the lizard. I had her for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like taking your pet dog.
Yeah.
He's not above that. He stole pet dogs before, too. In fact, was arrested.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, the guy has a history. And so this whole bank here is, now you're working on tree monitors, right? Is that
right? Yeah, we're having some success so far. Here we bred the green tree monitor, which is perhaps the most common. We successfully bred the blue tree monitor, which is one that if they really looked at it, it's probably critically endangered.
Right, we're
just because of where it comes from, such a tiny little island up in the Guinea. And we now have yellow tree monitor eggs. They haven't hatched yet, but being honest with you, they will hatch.
Oh, sure. And it's amazing. I mean, the enclosures you have here, you're really providing. I mean, talk me through a little bit about what you're looking to do here.
Well, let's look at this cage, because this is the completed version, or we can look at this first. This is a standard tree monitor cage at the beginning. It measures 6 feet by 6 feet, and because it sits up, it's actually almost 8 feet tall at the top, because we have it elevated.
Right.
All of them are plumbed for water. Pipe on the top coming down right there.
So they can drip.
And you can see also we have electric power to each one. See the cord running up. And if you look at the little retreat nest box, it's sitting on top of a Zoom-Ed fiberglass heating pad. That's all we do. And inside of that, we have cocoa fiber, which we keep moist like we like. We just open it and feel it. If it's too dry, we open up the top. Somebody else on the outside uses a hose to just put water in it, mix it up till it's the right. Again, you can do this several times a week, so it doesn't matter. Then we plant living plants, and as you can see, they haven't grown up in this cage yet. But this is an older cage. Right. This has a yellow tree monitor in it that's in there now that has nested. This has adult green tree monitors in it.
Gotcha.
And see the vegetation when it grows up and how nice it looks.
Yeah, when it grows up, I mean, now they've got all this extra hiding spot to make them feel comfortable. Obviously, you've got the dripping water. You've got
the water runs down all of the time, and the animal feels really, really secure in this type of thing. And honestly, if there ever was a recipe for breeding green tree monitors, this is it.
This is it.
And I pretty much, I think I could breed any species here.
Sure, absolutely. Now, how many do you keep in an enclosure like this?
I keep 1 pair or 1 male and 2 females, but for the best results, 1 pair. 1 pair. And even then, when the female nests, she will vigorously defend the nesting area and the eggs for a while and won't let the male in the box. And unless you have a lot of places for them to hide in a big enough cage, you can end up in injury or death to the male.
The male, right?
We just moved the male out of that cage with a yellow tree
because it doesn't have all the
hiding
spots. Yeah, exactly. You've got snakes outside. You've got diamond pythons outside.
Yes.
You've got boa constrictors outside. I mean, you've had tremendous success doing it this way, and it's something that I know we
cohabitate all of them.
Right, exactly. And you even have some enclosures that have different species together, right?
Yeah, we had up there. We had him with the iguana delicatissima. Right. We also keep Shelby, the European legless lizards. And then with a big pair of Cyclura lewisii crosses, we have a gorgeous pair of golden Greek tortoises in there.
Yeah.
And we're going to add to those. So
yeah, especially when you're talking about animals that might be in the top and on the bottom.
Correct, and that absolutely have they don't care about each other in any way. They don't compete.
They eat different food.
They don't.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And this cage has adult Cuban boas.
Oh, that's right.
And for years in this cage, it was 2 male and 1 female Cuban boa that have lived together Since the other female died, she used to be 2 males and 2 females together. Since the 1980s. These are old snakes.
Those are old snakes.
I got them from Peter Tolson in the early 1990s.
And you had told me that. I didn't realize with the size that Cuban boas can get.
It is the second largest, longest boa on the planet. The only boa that is larger is Anaconda. But they get longer than a boa constrictor. Maxes out about 15 feet for either imperator or constrictor. These Cuban boas max out at least 18 and a half, 19 feet.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing.
A big, like retic size.
And you're producing them. You said you have babies.
She'll have 9 babies. She has babies every other year and has for decades, literally. Wow. She's about 11 feet long. She'll have the same number of babies every year.
Nice.
And the babies are as big as baby anacondas.
Exactly. That's what's amazing. Yeah, because when you think of that type of boa, you think of rainbow boas.
They're always real small.
Yeah, you think of small. Yeah, that's amazing. And again, it's just it's cool to see this. You know, I've been here a dozen times, and every time you're changing and evolving. What's in here?
Monkeytail skinks.
Monkeytail skinks. Yeah, I can see one on the back wall here.
Yeah, and you can see growing in there is pothos, and that's their favorite food and favorite thing ever.
So do you supplement behind the pothos, or do they just eat the pothos?
No, we supplement too. We give them vegetables too. But to be honest with you, if I didn't feed them anything, it would be okay.
Right, they could eat the pothos.
Every single year, like clockwork, one of those females has twins, and the other one has a single baby.
That's amazing.
How crazy is that? And we leave the babies in sometimes for 6 or 7 months, and they ride around on the parents, and it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, because it's a social group. They live in a social group, which I find amazing. Do you think that that's unique for lizards?
No, all of them live in groups, and I don't know where herpetoculture got the idea that reptiles are not social and live together. When even if you take snakes, let's just take a snake off the top of people, captive breed, a Peruvian red-tailed boa. Do you not think that the Peruvian red-tailed boa does not run into a lot of the same red-tailed boas all of the time that live in the same area it does? Of course it does.
Right.
And with our rattlesnakes, we know that the same ones see each other year after year after year in hibernation. And they definitely select their mates and stuff, just similar to birds.
And with your kind of philosophy on reptiles and behavior and all this stuff, I mean, where do you think we're going? Where's the next? I mean, you're pioneering again for the 6th decade or whatever. You're pioneering the next phase of like this behavior.
I hope so.
And do you think that the rest of the community is going to catch on? I mean, how do we find that?
I hope so, because it's what I have learned, and as I have learned, I have evolved, and I've changed what I think or know to be true when I find out it's not true.
Right.
Like science does or anything else does. Sure. And the more I learn about these, the more complex and impressive their mental capability is, even to the point of minor problem solving and stuff like that, or even something like Roscoe and Rita both will go to our bedroom door in the afternoon. It sits right over there. And if they hear us in the room, they will go up and bump the door, because if they bump the door, they have learned we'll go out and go get a picnic and bring it to them.
Wow, isn't that something? And that's why.
And sometimes they want to come in the house, and we just open the door. And if they want to come in, they come in. If they don't want to, we don't. And when I let them do stuff like that, is when I see stuff that nobody else ever sees.
And that's what we need. How do we get that message out beyond what we're doing now to other keepers?
Super simple. If everybody took whatever they kept and just downsized and got rid of the extra to people that could actually provide and take care of them, and take care of animals, take care of your animals, put in a lot bigger space per animal, and research what you're keeping before you do. And I base everything I do here. It's not based on captive, it is based on wild reptiles. The entire Mangshan viper habitat that we designed and have built and have such high hopes for this next year if it gets cold enough here, is based on wild studies.
Yeah, what they actually would need.
Where they come from in nature, and where they come from in nature has everything to do, and how they live in nature, and the climate where they live, and the little small bio niches that they seek out in this habitat, because they're not found everywhere in the Mangshan Mountains, only in specific type habitat. We've tried to duplicate that. And that's the way it goes. And I couldn't agree with you more. I'm on the same path that you're on.
Yeah, you know, downsizing, making enclosures and habitats.
I think it's a normal evolution.
It's evolution, because you start to realize that these animals need this amazing. And when you do see this, and you see their natural behavior, that inspires. It gets you excited in the morning, right?
It does.
You wake up and you go, oh my gosh, I can go see what this animal is. Where is it going to be in the cage? And you can see their pattern and their emotion. I think it's amazing, and I'm glad that again you can reinvent yourself as you have throughout your career to become again a leader in the next phase. And you know, for you guys, I hope that you listen, because it's so important not to just think that these animals are mindless. I mean, it's amazing. And just spending time today here at Tom's place and seeing the interactions that you're doing, it's even inspiring even more than I've been doing at the Reptarium. I mean, it's even better. Makes me want to go home and do even more, you know? So it's so cool, and I can't thank you enough for just showing us the place. And wow, I mean, it's so good to know you, and you're a friend.
Well, thank you. We've been friends for a very, very long time, and I don't know anybody with a better heart towards reptiles than you.
Well, I appreciate it.
And
well,
I don't know anybody that loves them any more than you do, except for me.
Yeah, except for you. I agree with you. Well, keep it up again, guys. Do me a favor, show Tom some love over on his channel as well. He does great things, and you know, really can inspire. So I'll put a link in the description to all his stuff: Facebook, Instagram, of course YouTube. So please show him some love, and you're going to learn a lot if you follow this guy.
Yeah, mine is straight informational mostly, and it's fun. I mean, because we show the animals doing stuff, but it's a lot of just showing what we do here. You know,
which is important.
It's pretty amazing.
You're going to learn things that you aren't going to learn anywhere else. So please go show him some love. Make sure you tell him I sent you. And all right, well, I tell you what, this has been amazing.